The January 2026 transfer window is in full swing and it is absolute chaos. We are fresh into the new year and already the panic buy season is delivering some of the most unexpected moves we've seen in years. From Premier League wonderkids looking for their big break to established veterans desperate to salvage their spots for the 2026 World Cup this summer, the stakes have never been higher. Today, we are breaking down 7 career-changing moves happening right now that are set to redefine the footballing landscape. Let's kick things off with a move that could resurrect a striker's European career, Nicholas Fulkrug. Remember when this guy was terrorizing defenders in the Bundesliga at Borussia Dortmund? Fulkrug was supposed to be the answer to their striking problems. The reality? It just never clicked. Limited game time, injuries piling up, and a move to West Ham that promised Premier League glory but delivered frustration instead. The Hammers needed goals, Fulkrug needed confidence. Neither got what they wanted. But now, AC Milan has thrown him a lifeline, a loan deal with an option to buy. It's the kind of move that makes perfect sense when you think about it. Milan needs depth up front, especially with their packed fixture schedule. Fulkrug gets a fresh start in Serie A league where his style of play, that classic number 9 presence, could thrive. At 31, this isn't just another transfer, it's potentially his last shot at proving he belongs at Europe's top table. If he can rediscover that form he showed at Dortmund before the move to England, Milan might have just pulled off one of the window's smartest signings. Speaking of smart signings, let's talk about a player who's been starving for minutes at Tottenham, Manor Solomon. It's actually painful watching a talent like Solomon waste away on the bench. When Spurs signed him, the excitement was real, an Israeli winger with pace, trickery and an eye for goal. But between injuries, you almost forget he's even at the club. Now he's heading to Fiorentina on loan with an option to buy. And honestly, it could be the move that saves his career. Serie A suits players like Solomon, the tactical nature of the league, the space to operate, the appreciation for technical ability. At Fiorentina, he won't just be another squad player. He'll get real opportunities to start, to influence games, to remind everyone why Spurs wanted him in the first place. For a 25-year-old who should be in his prime, this move to Florence isn't just about playing time. It's about reclaiming his status as one of the most exciting wingers around. The pressure's on, but the stage is set. Next up, we have a move driven by pure international ambition. Mexican international Julian Araujo. If you follow the Premier League, you know Araujo's time at Bournemouth has been a struggle. Since his arrival from Barcelona, minutes have been incredibly hard to come by. Recurring defensive mistakes and injuries saw him fall down Andoni Iraola's depth chart, and as of January 2026, he hadn't made a single league appearance this term. But with the 2026 World Cup being co-hosted by his home nation Mexico, Araujo knows he cannot spend the next 6 months on the bench. Moving to Celtic Park is a stroke of genius. Araujo needs regular minutes, and the high-pressure environment of Scottish football is the perfect place to find them. Celtic saw an opportunity and they grabbed it. The Scottish Premiership might not have the same prestige as the Championship, but make no mistake, this move is massive for Araujo. Celtic is a giant. They're competing in Europe, battling for domestic dominance, and playing in front of 60,000 fans every home game. For a 23-year-old Mexican international, this is the perfect environment to develop. He'll get consistent minutes, he'll play in big matches, and he'll be part of a winning culture. Sometimes a step sideways is actually a step forward. Araujo's betting on Celtic to reignite his career, and with their style of play and ambition, it's a gamble that could pay off big time. Let's switch gears to a move that's all about potential and patience. Koleoso to Paris FC. If you're not familiar with Koleoso, let me paint the picture. This is a 20-year-old Italian-American winger who was tearing it up at Burnley in the Championship. Pace for days, direct dribbling, and the kind of raw talent that makes scouts lose their minds. But here's the problem. Koleoso's first half of the season on loan at Espanyol didn't go to plan. He started just once in the Copa del Rey and saw very little playing time in La Liga. By moving to the French capital, Koleoso is stepping into a league that thrives on pace and dribbling. This move is career-changing because it places him in a sink-or-swim environment where he will be a primary creative outlet alongside fellow winger Moses Simon. Paris FC reportedly has an option to purchase the Italy under-21 international, who is also eligible eligible for the USMNT, Canada and Nigeria. If he can help Paris FC stay in League One, his market value will skyrocket and he might finally settle on which nation he wants to represent at the senior level. Sometimes the smartest career move isn't the flashiest one, it's the one that puts you in the best position to succeed. From young talents to established stars, let's talk about Marco Brescianini's move from Atalanta to Fiorentina. This one stings if you're an Atalanta fan, because Brescianini had shown glimpses of real quality in midfield. But the problem at Atalanta is simple. The competition is absolutely insane. They've got established internationals, they've got young prospects fighting for spots, and breaking into that midfield consistently is nearly impossible. Brescianini could have stayed and fought for scraps. Instead, he chose Fiorentina, and it's a move that shows real ambition. Fiorentina is building something special right now. They're competing in Europe, they're playing exciting football, and they need midfielders who can control games, contribute defensively, and push forward when needed. That's literally Brescianini's profile. At 24, he's at the age where he needs to be playing week in, week out, not sitting on benches, not getting cup minutes here and there. Real consistent football. This loan with an obligation to buy suggests Fiorentina sees him as a long-term solution, not just a temporary fix. If he settles in quickly, Brescianini could become one of the signings of the window. Now we're getting into speculation territory, but the rumours are too strong to ignore. Nwaneri to Bournemouth. This would be absolutely massive for English football. Nwaneri is the youngest player to ever feature in the Premier League. At just 17, he's already shown flashes of brilliance at Arsenal. The technique, the composure, the football intelligence beyond his years. But here's the reality. Arsenal is stacked. They're competing for the Premier League title, they're in the Champions League, and Mikel Arteta can't afford to give extended runs to teenagers who are still learning. Bournemouth has reportedly come in strong with a loan offer, and while Nwaneri himself wants to stay at Arsenal and fight for his place, sometimes the best thing for a young player's development is regular first-team football. Look at what loans did for players like Mason Mount and Conor Gallagher. They went out, played men's football, made mistakes, learned, and came back better. If this move happens, Bournemouth would be getting one of England's most exciting prospects. Nwaneri would get the stage to prove he's ready for the top level. It's a win-win situation, even if it hasn't been finalised yet. The interest is real, the logic is sound, and this could be the move that transforms Nwaneri from a prospect into a player. And finally, the move that would break the internet if it happens. Conor Gallagher to Tottenham. Let's set the scene. Gallagher left Chelsea for Atletico Madrid in the summer, looking for a fresh start, looking to prove himself in La Liga. It hasn't worked out. He's struggled to adapt to Diego Simeone's system, the minutes haven't been consistent, and reports suggest he's not entirely happy in Spain. Now both Tottenham and Aston Villa are circling, ready to bring him back to the Premier League. If Spurs pull this off, it would be one of the most interesting moves of the window. Gallagher brings exactly what Ange Postecoglou loves: energy, work rate, box-to-box dynamism and leadership. He'd slot into that Tottenham midfield and give them something they've been missing: the ability to control games physically while still contributing in attack. At 25, Gallagher is entering his prime. He needs to be at a club where he's valued, where he starts week in, week out, where he can build on that Chelsea form that made him an England regular. Tottenham needs midfield reinforcements. Gallagher needs a fresh start in familiar surroundings. As the window continues, these 7 moves represent something bigger than just transfers. They're about players taking control of their careers, making brave decisions, and backing themselves to succeed in new environments. Some are escaping the bench, others are chasing dreams. All of them are betting on themselves. Which of these moves do you think will have the biggest impact? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos like this. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
Goal 90 Shop, your one-stop solution for all your World Cup needs.